What's up, YouTube? This is Sparta, and today I'm bringing you guys a commentary on my opinion of Capture the Flag versus Blitz. Now, both these game modes are very fun, but in my opinion, one is just a little bit better than the other. As for a gameplay, I have a competitive Blitz game where our team kind of, well, I wouldn't say we completely dominate, but we are definitely the better team, as you will see. And I played more of a kind of support slayer type role, if you will, and you'll see that here. Now, hopping into my points on whether I like CTF or Blitz better, I'm going to start with CTF. Now, Capture the Flag is a challenging game mode to play if you don't play with the people that are on your team a lot, because it has to do a lot with feeling where your teammates like to go and a lot of route running type things where you should know where your teammate's going to be or where your teammate likes to go in different situations, as well as hitting cutoffs in if someone has pulled the flag. Now, with Capture the Flag, you have to run the flag all the way back across the map after making it to the other team's spawn, which in my opinion makes it a little more fun because it's more high stakes. Your team has to communicate well together. You have to hit cutoffs. You gotta pick up the other team's spawns. It really seems to be a more challenging game mode than Blitz. Now, there's a lot more communication that goes on, as I've said, than Blitz. Even though in Blitz you have to talk about, you have to know where everyone on the other team is at all times, as well as how many are dead, how many could be in our base, whether we should overextend or not. But in Capture the Flag, it's basically the same way. It's just if we're all pushed up and they pull the flag, we still have a great opportunity to cut them off, as opposed to Blitz. Once they get past, they can score. I think the full length of the map that you have to come back with the flag really adds a fun element into the game, where you actually have to work as a team and really use each other to your advantage to either pick up a capture or to stop the other team from capturing your flag. I feel like it makes your team dependent on each other, which is a good thing. You have to have all strong points on your team and Capture the Flag, because you can't just get carried by one person, or at least I haven't seen it very often, where you can just get carried by one person doing extremely well. Whereas in Blitz, if you have one person who's just slaying out the other team and getting kills like crazy and just going off, you can pretty much feed off of that, because with the respawn delay, then they will constantly be dead, and you're all going to be able to basically overextend into their base, let one person pick up spawns, and then really just be able to cap over and over and over again. Now in CTF, even if you're on a spawn trap, there's a whole lot of ways to get out of it, because you actually have to pull the flag, which forces some people to move out of the spawn trap to hit cutoffs if people spawn up or if they spawn in a weird spot. As opposed to Blitz, there's pretty much set spawns, and it's very repetitive with the spawns. They are always spawning in either one side of the map or the other, and this makes it a lot easier to either spawn trap or be able to have a constant flood of people moving around on one side of the map, which is in my opinion, I don't like that, how you can just constantly have people being able to overextend if the other team doesn't fill lanes. It really doesn't make it as interesting of a game type, And another thing with Blitz that you cannot do in Capture the Flag is sneaking. And sneaking is one of the biggest things when it comes to Blitz. If you can sneak behind where the other team is and be able to be in their base without them knowing and get that one extra cap to put your team on top, then really that could be the difference in the game, whether or not you sit in a spot where they can't see you so that you can get past them once they've passed. But the problem is most teams don't communicate well enough to actually sneak effectively every time, because sneaking really does rely on the other team's ability to fill lanes, and if they aren't filling every lane, or if they're stacking two people in the same lane, which doesn't make sense, you see one person go past, you go to sneak around them, and there's another person right behind them for some reason, and they don't actually fill every lane on the map, which would open up a lane for your teammate, obviously, but it doesn't help you, and it might not end up helping your team as a whole in general, just because sneaking is so important, and so is communication in Blitz. But I do consider Capture the Flag a more communication oriented game mode, just because of the cutoffs and having to know where the rest of your team is at. Now, also with Blitz, I talked about filling lanes a little bit, and this is a big part of it. In Capture the Flag, you could really push your team up on one side of the map and overextend, and if you have maybe like two people at the enemy's flag, one person close to a spawn trap and one sitting mid-map, then you're pretty much set as far as a setup goes. And if you guys rotate around one side and the other team rotates around the other side, and then you can both pull the flag, that makes it a whole lot more interesting, as opposed to in Blitz, filling lanes, winning gunfights, and then them rotating back after they spawn. That's another thing. That's another point I was going to talk about, is rotation. In Blitz, people rotate back to the flag, or the, I don't even know what you want to call it, the goal, as opposed to rotating to fill a lane, just because once someone is at your goal, it's very important to stop them, whereas in Capture the Flag, you can let them pull the flag, because then you know where they're going, you can anticipate where the other team's cutoffs are, use the element of surprise if you sneak past and get in their base and they are not aware of it. But in Blitz, if you sneak past, it doesn't really matter, because you're just going to score anyways. And as you see in this video, my team really tries to rotate back to the goal, and the other team doesn't want to score for some odd reason, seeing as they're down like 4 points or something with only 2 minutes left. And rotation, big thing that I don't like about Blitz, because everybody rotates back to flag and then they push out. Capture the Flag, you rotate to fill lanes, because you don't have to rotate all the way back to the flag. If they have two people at the flag, so what? That's one less person you have to worry about hitting you on a cutoff. And it's really important in Capture the Flag, which is why I'm excited for it to be coming back in Advanced Warfare. It's going to bring a lot to the table as far as playability of that game. Considering I didn't love Blitz, I think you can tell I like Capture the Flag a lot more, just based on the communication, like filling lanes, the lane rotation, having to pull the flag the full length of the map, and really the teamwork that's involved with that, with hitting cutoffs and all that stuff. Blitz, you just go, sneak past somebody, score. There's not a whole lot to it. Capture the Flag is really a team-oriented game mode that one person can't dominate, because in Blitz, one person can get a ton of kills, setting up that respawn delay for the other team, giving you guys the ability to cap over and over and over again, as opposed to capture the flag, where there's many different ways to rotate out of a spawn trap. And I don't know, I mean, I really do feel like Blitz was not as I want to say fun, but it wasn't as really team centered. Capture the flag is really a game type where you have to be on the same page with your teammates and really know what's happening on the entire map, as opposed to Blitz where you can just sneak, rotate back to the goal, or spawn trap. And I hope you guys enjoy my analysis of Capture the Flag versus Blitz. If you did, go ahead and tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to see what you guys have to say on this topic. And don't forget to stab that like button and hit the subscribe on your way out. And as always, this is Sparta, and I'm out.